Right, don't
want to
just.
say hello to the Orange Village Council. You're all on right now.
Wow.
Hey, everybody, welcome.
And 11 of my police officers are here, including myself,
Very nice.
for this event. Let me try and put
Including yourself, you're there, Chief, are you?
Maybe not. You never know with Zoom.
Could be a fake background.
Yeah, this is
You could be like me, don't I look
it's a
like I'm
virtual
there?
background behind
Dude,
it.
All right. Well, why don't we get started then? So let's call the meeting to order. Anna, if you'd call roll, please.
Sure. Vincent,
here.
Perry,
Here.
Silver,
Here.
Klein,
Present.
Comet,
Here.
Charnas,
Here.
Duber.
Yes. I'll make a motion to confirm the appointment of Kevin Oliver Jr. as a full-time police patrolman. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you. Chief, if you'd say your spiel, please.
For your confirmation, I'd like to introduce to you Kevin Oliver Jr., who is 21 years old. He scored a 92.5 on his exam for the police academy, which was a very good grade. He grew up in Cleveland. He's a graduate of St. Ignatius High School. During his time there, he played for the for the football team and was a manager for the basketball team. He chose to be a police officer because of his willingness to help others and seeing how much his father enjoyed the job, who also just retired from the police department, City of Cleveland schools. In his free time, he enjoys video games and fishing and is very passionate about the Cleveland Browns and loves traveling out of town to see them play. He's a very family-oriented young man and enjoys spending time with his family. For your confirmation, Kevin.
Thank you.
Bring them up so we can see them.
Mayor, you're not doing it? Mayor?
They haven't voted yet.
But we haven't voted yet.
Oh, sorry, my,
Welcome.
Anna, if you would call roll, please.
Vincent,
Yes.
Perry,
Yes.
Silver,
Yes.
Klein,
Yes.
Comet,
Yes.
Charnas,
Yes.
Duber.
Yes.
Very good,
Uh,
thank you.
Congratulations, Mayor. You can go ahead and swear him in now.
We turn lights on. Members of the family, if you want to reposition yourself anywhere to get a better shot, you may. Are we,
She means take a picture.
they probably want to see him, not me.
They can see him, they can see him. We're fine. They can see him.
You ready? You sure you want to do this? I state your name,
I, Kevin Oliver Jr.,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
the rules, regulations,
the rules, regulations,
and charter of Orange
and
Village,
Charter of Orange Village,
and that I will faithfully,
and that I will faithfully,
honestly, and impartially
honestly, and impartially
discharge my duties
discharge my duties
as a full-time police patrolman
as a full-time police patrolman
of Orange Village, State of Ohio,
of Orange Village, State of Ohio,
during my continuance in said office.
during my continuance in said office.
It is official. Congratulations. Okay, I think we might want to disconnect.
Well, congratulations. Welcome aboard. Unless there's anything else you guys want to say in there, well,
For the time being, we're gonna get muted here. You can watch.
thanks, Chief. All right. I'll make a motion to confirm the appointment of Danning Wu as a part-time accounts payable clerk. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Mayor or?
I'm going to let Dana do the introducing. But before I do, in the audience tonight for Mr. Oliver was his former boss, who is so proud of him getting this job. But in all the world, this man, Danding, do you see him? This is Danding's brother-in-law. Out of the blue. His wife's brother's wife is Danding.
Oh,
That's funny? Okay, you can go party now.
It's Cleveland, Mayor. There's 2 degrees of separation. Nobody is that far removed from anybody.
It was only in the Jewish community.
No. The entire-
Okay, I'm going to turn it over to Dana, who did a lot of the legwork in making this excellent choice. Danding is a resident and she has great skills. So Dana, take it away.
Thank you. Well, I'm pleased to introduce Danding Wu. She is an Orange Village resident with over 15 years of experience traveling internationally to report on internal controls. And she made a decision about 5 years ago to make a career change and become a stay-at-home mom. So she has a 5-year-old son, and she was looking for something she could do part-time and something close to home. We had been looking for over a month. We interviewed quite a few, about maybe close to a dozen individuals that we interviewed for the position. Danding stood out amongst them all, and we're happy that she's able to join us for our part-time position. She's very qualified. She's been here for a few days now working with us and has been already doing an amazing job. She's excited to join Orange Village and be a part of our community in which she lives. So
The replacement of Kelly Wolf, who was our part-time clerk, and she has left for a full-time job somewhere. This is not a new spot. This is a replacement.
thank you, Mayor.
Congratulations.
Huh?
We gotta confirm her first.
Very impressive resume.
Thank you.
All right, unless there's any questions, Anna, if you'd call roll, please.
Sure. Vincent,
Yes.
Perry,
Yes.
Silver,
Yes.
Klein,
Yes.
Comet,
Yes.
Charnis,
Yes.
Duber.
Yes. All right, now you can say congratulations.
Maybe we should do oath first.
Mayor, do you want to swear in?
Yes, Danding, would you raise your right hand, please?
Yes.
And repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Danding Wu,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I would support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
the rules, regulations,
the rules, regulations,
and charter of Orange Village,
and Charter of Orange Village,
and that I will faithfully, honestly, and impartially
that I will faithfully, honestly, and impartially
discharge my duties as a part-time accounts payable clerk
discharge my duties as a part-time accounts payable clerk
of Orange Village, State of Ohio,
of Orange Village, State of Ohio,
during my continuance in said office.
during my continuance in said office.
Welcome aboard officially and permanently, Danding. We welcome you.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Congratulations.
And this is your
Congratulations.
council.
Congratulations.
Tell her what she's won, Johnny.
All right, well, congrats. And we can move on. So I'll make a motion to approve the special council meeting minutes of April 7th, 2021.
Second.
Thank you. Does anybody have any comments on those? If not, then please call roll.
Vincent,
Yes.
Perry,
Yes.
Silver,
Yes.
Klein,
Yes.
Comet,
Yes.
Charnis,
Yes.
Duber.
Yes. And I'll make a motion to approve the special council meeting minutes. I'm sorry, the council meeting minutes of April 14th, 2021. Is there a second? Thank you, Ms. Berry. Anybody have any comments? Sorry that I was unable to attend. Anna, if you call roll, please.
Sure. Vincent,
Yes.
Perry,
Yes.
Silver,
Yes.
Klein,
Yes.
Comet,
Yes.
Charnis,
Yes.
Duber.
Yeah, sure, yes. All right, I'll make a motion to declare a 2012 Dodge Charger VIN number 2C3CDX AT2CH237340 surplus to be disposed of at the mayor's discretion. Is there a second?
Second,
Thank
We
you.
may be back at you to replace this car a little bit later in the year. This was an unexpected demise of one of our unmarked vehicles.
All right,
Definitely not what we got first.
Do we have a replacement for it or need a replacement? For it?
Not at the moment, no.
what was its demise? What happened to it?
I could call the chief in to answer, but Bob Zugan. Cost like 10.
Yeah, I can speak on behalf of the chief. We had to have it towed to Junction Auto, the dealership. Basically, the mold was blown. It had, timing belt went, blew in, so the push rods are there. They're suspect that, some of the pistons are shot. So we're looking at, the price came in like $3,000 to $7,000 for repair, and looking at it, we're not worth putting the money into the vehicle at 10 years old.
It was an unmarked,
That's correct.
so we can replace it with a cheaper car.
all right, if you'd call roll, please.
Vincent,
yes,
Harry,
Yes.
Silver,
Yes.
Klein,
Yes,
Comet,
Yes.
Charnes,
Yes.
Stuber.
Yep. I'll make a motion to authorize the expenditure not to exceed $91,287.35 for the purchase of an ODB Extreme Vac Model DCL 800 TM25 leaf machine from Best Equipment. Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Zugan, I'm assuming you
I
want to?
just want to say this has been a budgeted item that was anticipated and accounted for. Take it away, Bob.
Yep, that is correct. So this is replacing a 20-year-old machine. The original one that we did have was an ODB. We've done our due diligence, looked at 3 different units. This one is in the middle of the road, but it has features which we've become accustomed to, which make our job efficient and easy. Some of the things it has a rotating inlet on the side, which allows us to get service cul-de-sacs better and our ditch lines and stuff like that. There's some mechanical things that are better. So, unfortunately, with the diesel and the tier 4 and the final tier 4 ratings, to meet all the EPA requirements, we've seen a drastic increase of these machines in cost over the years. No different than like our salt trucks and stuff. So.
And Bob, didn't you tell me if we don't buy this now, it will go up 10,000?
Yes, they locked in the price. We're seeing a number of things that we're looking to purchase, that the steel market is beginning to go crazy. And we're finding that a lot of these suppliers are only locking in for like a 2-week period. So we've asked them to extend this pricing until we met with council and look for approval.
was there, Bob, was there any consideration or discussion with either Moreland Hills or one of our adjacent communities like you did with that roller paving equipment to
We all pick
share
up
it?
at the same time.
Yeah, that's one of the big problems. We all would be using the machine at the same time. I do want to say though, that we are planning on, I'm in the process of working with Chagrin Falls as, an opportunity for equipment sharing where we would keep this. I think it's still okay to keep as a backup. When this thing goes down, only having 1 unit, and it goes down for a week, it really hurts impacts our collection schedule. So we're looking at housing this potentially in Chagrin Falls, and it'll be sort of like a joint, effort by 2 communities.
No, you're thinking of having Chagrin Falls store the old one, not the new one.
Yeah, the old one. They'll be storing, that's correct. I apologize.
Will
They'll be storing
they use that old one as a backup similarly, or will it be their will they be using that primarily?
The plan is that this would be a backup for both units. They share the same problem. So they're looking at, they would house it down there for nothing. And in exchange, we would, trade off on that storage for the use. And the other thing it would allow us in the event like early snowstorms and stuff like that, each one of us maybe the opportunity to put a second crew out on the road to try and get up a bulk majority of our leaves prior to a snow event.
I have a quick question. What do you think the life expectancy of this new vehicle will be? You think-
These type of equipments, we look for 20 years. There's probably a lot of other communities around that turn them in way earlier than that. I think the other thing is that to point out that Beechwood, Hudson, Solon, a number of our neighboring communities use these same units. They've been very reliable, although you still do have consumable wearable parts. And the company that we deal with, they have a great inventory through all these neighboring communities. So we've been very fortunate to be able to, emergently borrow equipment or borrow parts from other places and get them stock shelf by the company.
All right. Any other questions, comments? All right, if you would call roll, please, then, Dana.
Vincent,
Yes.
Perry,
Yes.
Silver,
Yes.
Klein,
Yes.
Comet,
Yes.
Charnes,
Yes.
Duber.
Yes. I'll make a motion to award the bid for the Chagrin Boulevard Culvert Outlet Improvement Project to Cook Paving Construction Company in the amount not to exceed $57,945. Is there a second?
Second.
Thanks. Brian, do you want to?
Sure. As you guys see, we received 2 bids for this project, one from Cook Paving, one from Northeast Ohio. Trenching, 4 people picked up. We did only get the 2 back in, which was a little disappointing. Cook Paving, we've worked with in the past. It's been a long time. They're more on the west side, my side of town. But we have worked with them in the past. They came in basically about $7,000 underneath the engineer's estimate. Little project, just resolving some erosion issues at the outlet of the culvert, right on the border of Woodmere there and the Beachmont Country Club. Have no problem with Cook Paving. Again, like I said, it's been a while since they've worked in the village, but we have worked with them in the past.
Brian, can I ask you, I see, I'm looking at the differentials and the total for each is pretty minimal, but that one line item on number 12, like the one is 10,000 and the other one is 1,800. And aside from that, when all the others for Northeast Ohio seem to be better than Cook, I'm just wondering why is that so much on line item 12? Where are they coming up with that number? Do you have any idea?
Basically, it's how they plan on maintaining the flow. In talking with Cook Paving, we call that they have to maintain the channel, obviously, when they're working. They're planning on being in there in August. Hopefully it'll be bone dry in there. They'll be taking that chance. If it's low flow, you can get away with a smaller pump to pump it around. It's just how they figure they're going to do it.
It's just such an extreme difference there, and all the others for Northeast Ohio are much lower than Cook. So,
you'll see that in bids all the time. It's usually 1 or 2 things that mobilization is always a factor. Sometimes traffic's always a big one. These are the kind of things that you don't know exactly how they're thinking they're going to maintain it just yet. But they're still required to do it no matter what they bid.
as long as Cook is able to do it for that much smaller amount.
Oh no, yeah, they're not able to come back and say, well, we can't do it, we need more money. No, that's what you bid. That's how you get awarded the contract.
Thank you.
Anybody else have any questions? All right. Anna, if you would.
Vincent,
Yes.
Perry,
Yes.
Silver,
Yes.
Klein,
Yes.
Comet,
Yes.
Charnes,
Yes.
Duber.
Yes. Moving on to audience comments relating to agenda items only. I don't think that there is any audience. So move on to old business. Ordinance 2021-7, an ordinance authorizing the mayor to enter into a license agreement with TPS Holdings LLC for the use of a portion of the right-of-way of Harvard Road. It's on for second reading. Report and recommendation for passage of ordinance 2021-7 received from planning and zoning. Assume there's no updates. There, no.
I'm sorry. No, it's just the same thing, just
Yep.
making them aware.
All right.
Would there be any reason to suspend and pass this tonight or not?
There's no reason except that maybe we won't have to meet next week.
Well, aside from that, I mean, I don't know if there's any other vetting that needs to be done here, so I like where your head's at. And
Oh, no, there's no other. we
Yeah.
got the exhibit,
I'll make a motion to suspend.
Second,
And any comments on suspension? All right, if you would call roll, Anna, please, on suspension.
Okay, sure. Vincent,
Yes.
Perry,
Yes.
Silver,
Yes.
Klein,
yes.
Comet,
Yeah.
Charnes,
Yes.
Duber.
Yes, and I'll make a motion to pass ordinance 2021-7. Is there
Can
a
I
second?
ask Steve Byron, just to make sure tomorrow you can touch base with Bob McLaughlin, tell him this passed and tell him what to do to get this thing executed?
Yeah, it's my understanding. Anna, don't we have it? Did they send it over?
Oh,
Did I
the
see-
agreement, yes, I have it.
Yeah,
So once
so,
you pass it, the mayor will sign, correct?
yeah, that, remember, there's not an emergency
Yeah,
clause
that's
on this.
30 days.
Yeah, that's right. You'll sign it in 30 days and then we'll file it.
Tickle it, Anna.
Okay, sure.
I don't think, did anybody second? I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I jumped in.
Okay.
Vincent, thank you.
All
Second,
right.
Stacy already did.
I'll say.
And then if you can, please call roll on passage of the ordinance.
Sure. Vincent,
Yes.
Perry,
Yes.
Silver,
Yes.
Klein,
Yes,
Comet,
Yes.
Charnes,
Yes.
Duber.
Yes. And moving on to new business, ordinance 2021-8, an ordinance amending the appropriations for current expenses and other expenditures of Orange Village during the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2021, and ratifying all expenditures consistent with this ordinance. It's on for first reading. I'll make a motion to suspend the rules. Is there a second?
second,
Thank you. Anna, if you could call roll on suspension.
Vincent,
Yes.
Perry,
Yes.
Silver,
Yes.
Klein,
yes,
Comet,
Yes.
Charnes,
Yes.
Duber.
Yes, and I'll make a motion to pass ordinance 2021-8. Your second?
Second.
Thanks.
To suspend.
Mayor or
Yeah, I'll turn it over
Dana.
to Dana, but please note, we'd like this passed tonight.
halfway there.
Next week.
Good evening. Okay, so we have an appropriation amendment. There was really three general ideas on here. One is the new hire that you swore in tonight for the police officer. That was not in the original budget, so we are adding their wage as well as the benefits, which impacts the general fund and also the police pension fund. So it includes the wages and some uniform supplies for that employee. Secondly, as a result of us doing the amendment, I decided to throw in the coronavirus amendment that I had talked with you about earlier. The coronavirus distribution of 116,000 was supposed to be received last year. We did not receive those funds until this year. So we have the revenue, but now this is the corresponding reduction of police and fire wages to reallocate those to the fund to zero out that account. So as you may recall, last year when we did the final budget amendment, we got that money at the last hours, but we didn't actually receive it there was a problem in the transferring of the funds, and it didn't happen until January. So we're taking $55,000 of fire wages and $61,600 of, $55,000 of police wages and $61,600 of fire wages that was supposed to be transferred over into this fund last year, but because we didn't get the revenue, we couldn't do that. So we're just doing, it's just really a cleaning up and getting all of our funds all in order. There was also a capital equipment increase of $30,000 for the license plate readers. I forgot, Lisa, to mention that when it was in the notes from the ordinance, but I forgot to mention it at the meeting this evening. That was for the license. It's $30,000 for the license readers. I think that everybody at council already had discussed that previously. So again, that wasn't a budgeted item originally, and so I needed to make that amendment. And then finally, we do open enrollment in December, and there was a couple of employees that switched their insurance coverage from, say, single to family. Well, when I put together the budget, they were in there as single, so there wouldn't be enough money to pay for, say, the last quarter or so of the years for their health insurance. So since I was doing an amendment, I decided to get that cleaned up as well now rather than waiting till December. Those are really the only changes that I had. And I can answer any questions or explain further if there are any other questions.
Dana, can you clarify for me on well, it's my second page of it, under the total appropriations under amendments, where the 123 came up, because I see the 11 and the 116 and the 30. But how did you come up with the 123, 30?
Well, if you look on Fund 299, it's on that second page of the exhibit, the coronavirus relief. You'll see the 116,000.
Right. And then, but how do we get the add up to the total at 123? Because I see like 127, like 130 plus. Does it?
Negative 35,000 above.
Oh, so we're going, I thought it was just the column down. So that's taken into account.
No, that's all appropriations. The total net appropriations is 123,000.
Gotcha.
And the bulk of that is 116,000.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, any other comments or questions? All right, well, thank you, Dana.
You're welcome.
Please, Anna.
You're gonna suspend?
Vincent.
You already suspended.
You did?
Yep.
Yeah, you must have got.
Thank you.
Sorry. Vincent,
Yes.
Perry. Perry,
Yes.
Silver,
Yes.
Klein,
Yes.
Comet,
Yes.
Charnes,
Yes.
Duber.
Yes. Moving on to audience comments. Well, there is no audience, so let's go. Mayor comments.
I know that at least the southern part of the village, and probably most of it, is really tired of the water main breaks on Miles Road. Just to remind everybody that that's a water main that breaks in Solon, and when it affects us, it's our responsibility to fix it. Forgetting the money for the moment, because we're not out money. I mean, we certainly are out aggravation, and our residents are losing water too frequently. It's like living in a third world place. So we have a meeting scheduled actually just a few minutes ago, I got a text from Mayor Krause's Solon, because I finally picked up the phone, explained to him what's going on, because he doesn't have the history with it. And he's called a meeting for us, a village engineer, Bob Zugan, and the Cleveland Water Department Commissioner, or I don't know who's going to be at the meeting, but people from Cleveland Water Department.
Why?
So we're hoping to get a permanent fix, but even if everybody agrees, and even if the money was available, it won't happen overnight. It would probably be years. And that's assuming that the money's there and people agree. So we're looking for a permanent fix. We'll keep you updated.
But why is that particular main continue to have
Because it's
problems?
old and has breaks, and Solon isn't a member of the Cleveland Water Consortium. If they were a member of the Cleveland Water Consortium, the Cleveland Water Department would fix, maintain, and replace the old water pipes in the community. Solon never joined it. Mayor Kraus didn't even know what it was, which was amazing to me because he was the regional director, so maybe he just forgot. But they didn't join because the previous mayor said there's a no poaching portion in the agreement, and they didn't want to be obligated to not poach. So we'll see where Mayor Kraus is on this. We'll see how he feels about the water agreement. I don't know where it's going to come down, and I'm happy to keep you updated, but I don't think there's an easy fix. But what we want is a permanent fix. We want the water line to stop breaking and affect. Every time this has happened, when it ruins our infrastructure on the north side of the road, which was every time but the one before the last one, it costs us tens and tens of thousands of dollars. And so far, we've been reimbursed by Cleveland Water Department, but that's taken persistence and nagging and begging. And I don't have confidence that will continue infinitely. So
And it's just ridiculous. I mean, it's probably,
it's ridiculous.
it's in the last however many, I mean, since I've lived here, I've seen water spouting
It's
from the
ridiculous.
street
It's like
probably
third world. It's
like
ridiculous.
10 times. It's crazy.
Yeah.
In the last one, they weren't even done cleaning up from the previous one when there was the last one. All the equipment was still there.
I don't want to upset you, but there's some water right now that is visible, that is being watched.
Is that at the top of the corner of Miles and in Harper?
Yeah.
I've noticed that.
So our goal is a permanent solution. And I just don't want to get anyone's hopes up that even if it goes smoothly, it will happen this year, next year. We'll keep you posted. Okay, any other questions about that horrible thing? Okay. The next branch shipping is June 14th. This first round is completely over. May 7th, on May 7th, from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m., we are collecting computers, flags, and hazardous household waste. Hurry and sign up for the community-wide garage sale. It's going to be on June 26th and 27th from 9 a.m. till 3 p.m. And it will be at your home. And we have already had over 21 people sign up to be part of it. So might be a good time to join in.
Herb Braverman already has his stuff outside getting ready. I'm just kidding.
Wasn't he the father of the community garage sale? Isn't that?
I just remember how much he loved it.
I don't know, Anna and I found some good stuff there. When I first started working for Orange, I didn't even have all my children. Now that my children have children, and I have 6 grandchildren, and my 92-year-old mother is still alive, I am keenly aware of the specialness of Mother's Day. So at the risk of sounding like former council people, I'd just like to wish everybody a very, very special Mother's Day. Be
I
good.
thought you were just about to quit, Mayor.
Sorry. That's it.
I'm kidding.
That's all.
Don't quit. I don't.
You're not ready.
Okay. The only comments I have are, I'm excited to see again, the changes in Woodmere have already brought out good results. They have competent human beings on their council. So that's kind of cool. And they have decided to extend the trail from Sugar Boulevard to Orange Village. So I think that's beneficial for everybody. And I
We will
commend
be
everybody.
Brandon.
What's that?
We have to go from the south side of Waterford to the corporate line, and we're going to just throw that in on what we're doing now.
Right. But I think that's absolutely fantastic and good on them, and good riddance to the ones who were ridded. What's that, Mayor?
I wanted to know if you're a contemporary and a friend of Seth Young.
I know Seth very well.
Okay, good.
I know he was in favor of this, and I think he did a good job with, helping get that passed through. All right, that's really all I have. So, Ms. Perry?
I have no report tonight.
Mr. Silver?
Quick question for the mayor. I think I saw on Facebook, you're having some sort of forum tomorrow with the mayor of Woodmere.
Yes, Bob McLaughlin, myself, and Steve Byron were asked to participate in a Woodmere forum because we have complaints by Woodmere residents that live on Maple Crest I don't blame them. They live behind Walnut Hills. And there are 2 houses there owned by Randy Curtis that are vacant, that are a mess, that look horrible, that is blight in Orange Village. It's the ghetto. It's terrible. But he has secured them with fencing and whatever the building code requires. It's shameful that they're there, but they want to hear that we're committed to getting it down. Bob has been making him do what he has to do. It's a problem.
They're in Woodmere, those houses?
It backs up to houses in Woodmere, but the
They're in Orange
houses that
Village.
are,
They're in Orange.
they're in
They're in
Orange Village. The 2 vacant, deteriorating, crappy, broken, rundown houses are Orange Village property.
Will they be torn down eventually?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. When the Pinecrest residential moves forward. See, now we had worked, Brent, we had negotiated into our Pinecrest development agreement that they had to take down all the houses they owned along Pinecrest and Walnut Hill. They had to take them all down at the same time, or at least all before they were allowed to start building. But those 2 houses were not owned by Pinecrest. They were owned by Randy Curtis. And so they're still there.
But does Randy's ties to Pinecrest and the new development now tie him in enough to obligate him to?
Not legally, it's owned in a different entity. Whatever he owns wasn't on the development agreement. But believe me, they're gonna come down before he gets to do anything.
Called strategy. It's called holding hostage.
Seems to me that there's a great opportunity there. If some of you recall, at least the council people that have been on for some time,
Yeah.
when Pinecrest started, we had the opportunity to go with the fire department to participate in the burning down of a couple of the houses over there and to
He's not
firsthand
gonna let you do that.
experience what our,
I don't think we can do that anymore, Judd, because of asbestos. We might do training exercises and, like Lisa and Ron Barron and I went into one of them. I think you did too, Judd.
I did. And
But I don't think the fire do it anymore because of the asbestos. Bob, shaking your head, yes or no?
There's a lot more regulation involved with open burning of homes and, different phase 2 asbestos abatement, that kind of stuff.
Brent, are you going to sign on to the Woodmere meeting tomorrow night?
I hadn't planned on it. That's why I was asking what it's about.
It's about a legitimate complaint from a Woodmere resident.
Okay. What time is it?
Is it 6 or 7? I don't remember. Where'd you see it?
I think on Facebook I saw it.
Tomorrow it is at 6 o'clock. Who's next?
That's all I had. Sorry. Thank you.
All right. Mr. Comment?
No question.
Okay. Mr. Charnas,
I have no comments tonight.
Mr. Klein,
just a few. Planning Commission met last night. We reviewed 1, 2, 3 new houses that will be starting construction in the village. So we're continuing to grow. And we also reviewed some other minor things, a screen porch, but we also reviewed the house that was approved for a variance at our last council meeting to allow for a garage to encroach into the setback on Jackson Road. There were a number of concerns about the design and drawing that were produced for it. And so we've asked them to come back to the next meeting with additional information because at the end of the day, we really need to demonstrate the concern and develop a solution that will allay the concerns of the neighbors across the street who are concerned about the impact of this on their property. So that will be reviewed then. So we tabled the action for the owner to come back with more detail and more information on both the building and the landscape that he's proposing for it. The other thing I wanted to announce is our Ready Committee will be having its next meeting. It's scheduled for the 13th. It's a week from Thursday. And we'll be sending out an agenda on that and then sending out an invitation in connection to the link. The wonderful thing that we have just witnessed tonight and last night as well, Planning Commission, that we have just brought on board a number of new staff to the Orange Village that are come from minority and women groups, and I'm glad to see the village is doing so.
I want to go on the record of saying it is not a result of anything having to do with that. We've been working on this.
It's just the way things are happening, but I'm glad to see that it is, because I think it represents an important consideration that many people who have joined the Ready Committee have expressed, and I think it addresses some of their concerns. So thank you for that.
But I just don't want them to think that it happened because of theirs.
Well, that's all right. Even if it did.
Even if they do, all right. I'll get.
No, even if it didn't. I want to thank our community services, the service department, the police department, and fire department for the work that they continue to do and serve our community in the professional way in which they do. It's all appreciated across all strata of the community. So thank you all for the work that's happening there. And I too will wish all.
I froze.
All right, thank you. Ms. Vincent?
He froze. First of all, thank you to Dana for all her clarifications tonight, both at the finance meeting and tonight. I just appreciate that. I joined Judd in welcoming our 2 new Orange Village employees. It's nice to have them on board. The most recent event with the school board was actually the mayor's meeting last week, so I'm going to defer to Mayor Mulcahy on anything she wants to share from that. But I will add that for those of you who are not aware, board member Deb Comet, some of you know her fairly well, has stepped down. And if you or anyone you know, you can't, but if some people you know are interested in being a part of the school board, the applications are available both online on our website and on the school website. The position is through the end of this year only, when Deb's term would expire. Applications are due by May 7th. And the other big news I think that came out of the meeting is that Mayor Holbert announced his intention to seek re-election, and I certainly wish him well. It's nice to see our neighbors accomplishing so much these days. The only thing I want to,
Stacy, the answer to your question is the one takeaway that I think is important from that meeting is that the school is able to defer the next levy for at least 2 more years. It was originally going to be this year, I think, or even last year, but I hope it's because the pilot payments are helping, but their careful management, the CARES Act money, will give our residents a break from another levy ask for another 2 years.
thank you. And the one thing I want to add to Judd's comments about the Ready Committee meeting, I actually have had some additional calls in the last couple of days. And I just want to reiterate that everybody is welcome to come to even if you're not a member of the committee, to join us on the committee meetings. The next one is next Thursday, as Judd said. You don't have to be a member of the committee to be a part of that discussion. So working group members or just the general community are certainly welcome to join in the discussion. We are going to be starting to create our guiding principles and discovery of the work ahead of us. So if anyone has any agenda items, please share them with us so we can get that going.
Are you recording those meetings?
We are.
Yeah, they're on the Orange Village website.
Yeah, the first one's posted. And we'll offer the agenda up on the website as well once we get that done next week. And last but certainly not least, as promised at our last meeting, I know we were running long last time, so I wanted to save it for this month, but I want to share a handful of the responses I received from our future councilmen and women, current 3rd graders at Moreland Hills Elementary School. I had the opportunity to speak with them in April and field their questions about national and local government. So I offered them the opportunity to be a council person for a day and asked what they would do in that role. I received dozens and dozens of responses from children in the 7 towns that feed into the Orange schools with wonderful ideas, ranging from an animal petting farm to alleviate stress for those who can't have pets in their home, to getting rid of racism, to creating homeless shelters for those who lost their jobs because of COVID. I also had one student, Mayor Mulcahy, you'll be very interested to know this, who said she loves when the mayor calls her house to talk to her, personally, she thought, and would like to see the calls continue because they love them. These are all incredibly articulate, intuitive third graders, and I will separately share their wonderful ideas with the respective mayors from their towns. But indulge me for a moment as I read some of the responses from our own Orange Village residents, all of whom agreed that Orange Village is the very best town in the entire world. Maybe these will inspire you too. So I'll just do first names because they're third graders. Henry said if he were a council person, he would give more money to the hospitals because of COVID-19 so they could get more people vaccines, very timely and appropriate for the pandemic. Ava T would plant more plants in everyone's yard so that the yards will all smell lovely and so it looks pretty. Ava H would like to be a council person to make the world better by building sidewalks everywhere. Mark and Adrian agreed with her, as did many, many, many children from our neighboring towns. So we'll let them take that one up. Sine said if he were a council person, he would keep everyone safe, respond to good ideas, and help with certain wants and needs, although didn't clarify what those specific wants and needs are. Rael would make a law that you are not allowed to put stuff in other people's properties like corn to feed the deer. David, in a very timely response, says if he were a council person, he would want a cleaner bathroom at the Orange Village playground, adding a very descriptive phrase of how the current porta potties smell. David, hopefully we can make your vision a reality before the end of the summer. And finally, Nika wants to be a council person to do something that could make the world a better place. For example, cleaning up trash and spreading kindness.
Tell David when the bathroom goes in, that was because of his idea.
I will, and maybe he could be part of a dedication on that. I want to thank the third grade teachers for inviting me to speak, and I would say that the future of our wonderful Orange Village community is in very good, capable hands. Happy Mother's Day to everybody.
All right. With that said, we will adjourn. So thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful night. Godspeed.
Thank you.
See you next week.
Bye.